Very warm good morning to all of you. I welcome all the delegates for first scientific session on second day of AICT sponsored short-term training program. We had a wonderful talk yesterday by the renowned academicians Dr. N.K. Jain and Dr. Sanjay Jachak. Today we have with us a giant academician, Dr. Vittal S. Bandal, Principal, Government Polytechnic, Pune. On behalf of Institute of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, I heartily welcome you, sir. Dr. Bandal did his graduation and post-graduation from Government College of Pharmacy, Government College of Engineering, Karad, Maharashtra. He was a recipient of University Gold Medal for his first rank in Bachelor of Engineering from Shivaji University, Kolhapur. He did his PhD from Indian Institute of Technology, Mumbai. He stood first in Maharashtra Public Service Commission examination held for the post of Assistant Engineer in 1994. He received Best Research Paper Award at national and international conferences held in India, Canada, Hong Kong, and in New York. He worked as a consultant to Health Department, Government of Maharashtra in design and implementation of solar PV AC hybrid system for deep reserve and ILR installed at 407 primary health centers in Maharashtra during 2009 to 2015. He was a consultant for Safe City Kolhapur project by Kolhapur Municipal Corporation, Kolhapur in 2016-17. He has received a grant of more than 52 lakh for research and consultancy under model of RPS and consultancy projects. He has more than 25 years of experience contributing to teaching, research, and administration. He has published more than 29 research papers in various international and national conferences, journals, and participated in more than 40 national and international workshops, conferences, and training programs. He delivered 140 expert lectures on various topics like MATLAB applications, sliding model control, research methodology, smart grid, and integration of renewable energy sources, NBA and outcome-based education philosophy, role of PV solar solution to make India energy self-sufficient at national and international level workshop and seminars. He taught more than 25 subjects at undergraduate and postgraduate level. He worked at various levels like head of the department, BOS member, hostel reactor, chairman for first year BTech admissions for autonomous institutes in Maharashtra state, AICT expert member, NBA expert member, and so on. I again heartily welcome you, sir. Now I request Dr. Bandal sir to deliver the talk. The topic of his talk is NBA, Introduction and Importance of Outcome-Based Education.
Thank you, Dr. Rathi. Thank you very much for your kind introduction. I'll share my screen and we'll start. I hope my screen is visible to all.
Yes, sir, visible.
Visible. Okay, fine. So let me just hide my video panel so that. Okay. Today I'm going to speak on basically just to save the bandwidth. If you all don't mind, I'll just turn up my video so that bandwidth will be saved and my voice will be very clear to you and screen also will be visible. Yes. So today I'm going to speak on introduction and importance of outcome-based education. Basically, I'm going to just take you through next one and a half hour through the philosophy of what is basically outcome-based education. Before I start, I'll share a small story with you. This story is all about our attitude, how we look at it. My obviously submission to all of you, don't look at accreditation or for that matter anything just for the sake of rituals. When I say sake of rituals, We all need to do whatever you are doing, you have to do it with a passion. And from that perspective, I'm just sharing a small story with all of you. Attitude-based described, I name it as attitude-based described. So the story is like this. An old man lived alone near Jaipur. He wanted to spade his potato garden, but it was very hard work. His only son who would have helped him was in a prison in Mumbai. This old man wrote a letter to his son and mentioned his situation. And he said, "Dear Beta, I am feeling pretty bad because it looks like I won't be able to plant my potato garden this year. I hate to miss doing the garden because your mother always loved a planting time. I am just getting too old to be digging up a garden plot. If you were here, all my troubles would be over. I know you would dig the plot for me if you are not in jail." A letter written by a father, an old man, to his only son, because of some reason he was in a jail. Soon he received a reply from his son, and he said, "For heaven's sake, Papa, don't dig up the garden. That is where I have buried the guns." As you know that all the letters in and out from jail are scanned by jail authorities. So this letter was also scanned by jail authorities. And at 4 a.m. next morning, a dozen of special task force and local police officers showed up and dug up the entire garden without finding any guns. Confused, this old man wrote another note to his son and telling him what happened and asked him what to do the next. His son's reply was, "Go ahead and plant your potatoes. Papa, it's the best I could do it from here." The moral of the story is very important, which is applicable to all of us, is that no matter where you are in the world, if you have decided to do something deep from your heart, you can do it. It is a thought that matters and not where you are or where the person is. I think this story is applicable to all of us. In spite of wherever we are, if we have decided that whatever I will do in a life, I will do it with a passion. Even when we are going to apply for accreditation, we will see that we will apply accreditation not just for the sake of getting accreditation, but to understand it as a philosophy. We all will get nurtured in the philosophy and will live with that philosophy. So in a true sense, outcome should happen, not output should happen. So when we say outcome should happen, in a true sense, it has to be outcome. Let me just give you a couple of examples before we start the philosophy of accreditation. Let me give you a couple of examples. What is meant by outcome? When we say outcome, just giving a very simple example. Suppose a civil engineer wants to construct a bridge across the river. What he or she will do? First of all, they will do the structural analysis of a soil just to understand what kind of foundation will be required, so that accordingly they can design the pillars, which obviously will be the first step in construction of a bridge. And then accordingly, how much steel will be required, how much cement will be required, how much mortar will be required. And as per the norms, building norms are there, construction norms are there. It may take 18 months to 24 months for the construction of a bridge. After the stipulated period, your bridge will get constructed. So in my opinion, that is, we call it as an output. Output because now two ends of the river are connected with the bridge. If no one is traveling on the bridge or no one is making use of the bridge, in my opinion, there is an output, there is no outcome. We all have to think our graduates from that perspective. We are producing the graduates, but if the industry or the society as large, if society is not accepting our product, it means that we are only having output, we are not having outcome. Society will accept the product if that product has 3 attributes. These are graduate attributes, 12 graduate attributes for undergraduate program are combined into these 3, and they are known as knowledge, skill, and behavior. If our graduate is able to demonstrate that he or she does possess the qualities, does possess the abilities, then world will accept. It's not a, please understand, there is no dearth of jobs. There is no dearth. Actually, what is the problem of our graduates is that they are not employable because they do not possess the requisite skills which are required for a particular job. And that's what is outcome. Our student will study the course, they will get first class distinction, right? They may come in a merit, but quote unquote, if they are not able to demonstrate that they do possess a knowledge also of their discipline, of their domain, they will not be accepted by the world. So from that perspective, the world will accept them, quote unquote, if they are possessing a knowledge. So from that perspective, we will start our discussion. What is accreditation? What is accreditation basically? Accreditation is a formal recognition of a quality of an educational program or institution by external independent agency on the basis of impartial assessment and obviously basis of well-defined criteria. When I say program or institution, because in our country, we do have two agencies. One is a National Board of Accreditation, another is a National Assessment and Accreditation Council. Both these agencies are outcome of our earlier national education policy in 1986. You all might be aware about our NEP 2020 National Education Policy, which was published on 29th July 2020. That is a new educational policy 2020. But earlier national education policy was published in 1986. The first outcome of that national education policy was establishment of AICTE by Parliament Act in 1987. And subsequently, they realized that we need some quality aspects, quality measures, and for that purpose, one agency was established under the umbrella of UGC, known as NAAC, National Assessment and Accreditation Council, and another agency was established under the umbrella of AICTE, known as National Board of Accreditation. NAAC is a holistic approach which is applicable to institutions, whereas National Board of Accreditation is applicable to professional institutions, and it is a program specific. And that's why I'm saying it's a formal recognition of a quality of a program, which is by NBA, institution, which is by NAAC, by an external independent agency. So I said for a program accreditation, you have a NBA, and for institution accreditation, you have a NAAC. On the basis of impartial assessment, you must have noticed the evaluators who will be visiting your institute will be from different states, not different institute, but from different states altogether, in order to have impartial assessment. It means that they will not have any kind of association with your institution directly or indirectly. And it is on the well-defined criteria. Just to spell out you the criteria, there are actually 10 criteria for undergraduate program, which starts from vision, mission, and program educational objectives, then program curriculum and teaching learning, then course outcomes and program outcomes. Fourth criteria is a student performance. Fifth criteria is a faculty contribution. Sixth criteria is a facilities and technical support, which captures basically infrastructure of your program. Gist of all these 6 criteria will be captured in criteria number 7, which is basically a continuous improvement. So first 7 criteria, as far as undergraduate programs are concerned, first 7 criteria are for a program level, and remaining 3 criteria are for the institute level. Criteria number 8 is basically the student support system, first year academics. Criteria number 9 is the student support systems, and criteria number 10 is institutional support, governance, and financial resources. In that context, I'm saying it is assessment is on the well-defined criteria. What is the purpose of accreditation?
Sir, what is the issue?
Actually, it got disconnected. Maybe sometimes, the network issues. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes, sir, visible.
Visible. Okay, fine. Thank you. Actually, it got disconnected, unfortunately, because of the network. Sometimes that sometimes network abruptly gets disconnected. My apologies for that, because we do not have, even though we are sitting in a institute where we have a bandwidth of 150 Mbps and the place Pune, but still we can have these hiccups. So I do understand that what might be happening, especially at rural part. So my sincere apologies for this technical hitch. So what I was trying to tell you that basically the purpose of accreditation is to promote and recognize excellence in technical education in institutions as well as universities at all the 3 levels. And we all are following Washington Accord basically for this. In a due course of time, I'll explain that. What is significance? I said what is the purpose? Significance. What is significance? How significant accreditation is? Oh, it does have a significance. It helps institution to know its strength, weakness, and opportunities. It's like SWOT analysis. Nowadays, we call it as a SWOT analysis. When we do a SWOT analysis, it's like strength, weakness, opportunities, and challenges. Earlier, it used to be a SWOT, threats, but rather than threats, now we call them as challenges. It helps institutions into innovative and modern methods of pedagogy. As you all might be doing nowadays, the online teaching, right? It is again another new method of pedagogy. Maybe this pandemic COVID-19 has forced, so let us call it as a blessing in disguise. See, today we are meeting, in fact, you all are sitting at your different places, maybe in either institution or at home, and we all are connected. So you do not have to travel. Technology has helped us, so it's a blessing to all of us with this technology. It provides society with a reliable information on the quality of education offered. See, accreditation means when somebody comes and accredits you, it means that somebody is asserting, somebody is qualifying you for certain attributes. So, certifying you that you do have a quality of education which you are offering. And obviously, it promotes intra and inter-institutional interactions. Obviously, you'll be doing a hand-holding, you'll be helping other institutions also for accreditation, as well as for their hand-holding in understanding the philosophy, as well as understanding the initiatives which you had, so that they can also have those kind of initiatives in their respective institutions. What is the impact? Okay, we always talk, impact means outcome. What will happen if you get accredited? Oh, so many things are there. Let me tell you some lateral benefits. For example, if you get accredited, the first thing which you will get benefited from AICTE is that you will get extension of approval for the period for which your accreditation is valid. Suppose someone gets 3 years accreditation, or you'll get 3 years EOA from AICTE. Now, what is the advantage? Every year you might be paying fees of rupees to the tune of 1 to 1.5 lakh rupees as an extension of approval fee. We call it as a continuation fee. You do not have to pay. You will be waived up from paying that fees in case your institute's 50% programs are accredited, or you get that benefit. Another one, when you apply for funding to various funding agencies like AICTE you might be knowing, there are 23 AQIS schemes. AQIS means AICTE Quality Improvement Schemes are there. Under which, for example, just to give you some example of different AICTE AQIS schemes. One is a RPS, Research Promotion Scheme. Another is a MODERAP means Modernization and Removal of Obsolescence. So for laboratory upgradation, you get the funding. Maximum funding in each category varies. If, for example, in MODERAP, you get funding up to the maximum 20 lakh rupees. I'm just giving an example. You get funding for conducting the short-term training program, faculty development program. Even your faculty also can get the financial assistance for presenting their research, that is in the form of paper, in an international conference. So they will be supported with a travel grant, DST, which is now known as a SCRB. Science and Engineering Research Board. They also provide you funding. So all these things, no prerequisite is whether your program is accredited, whether your institute is having valid accreditation. In that context, it encourages. This is what outcome. It encourages quality improvement initiatives. See, whatever initiatives which you might have had in terms of quality improvement, somebody is endorsing that, and that's how it's impact. It will give you encouragement. Somebody pats on back of you, so saying that what you are doing is really good, so it will give you encouragement. Obviously, it will improve student enrollment in both in terms of quality and quantity. It means it's not only number, but you will get a better rank student, better quality student. As I said, it will help institution in securing necessary funds. All these things will result into enhancing employability of graduates which you are producing. Because world will know, industry will know, you are a better institute. Obviously, they will come to you. It will motivate faculty to participate actively in various academic and related institutional or departmental activities. It will help to create sound and challenging academic environment. Because see, you will be doing something new. You will be thinking out of box. All these initiatives, when somebody is endorsing, you automatically will get encouragement. You will automatically feel happy and will be willingly contribute in creating that environment. And at the end of the day, what matters the most, we all are part of society. So ultimately, it contributes to social and economic development of the country by producing high quality technical manpower. This is what is the impact. This is what is the outcome of the accreditation. So if you get accredited, you not only get one benefit, but you get so many lateral benefits also. I told you Washington Accord. What is Washington Accord? It was basically an accord signed among 6 countries in the year 1989. Which were Australia, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, UK, and United States. What was the basis? All have mutually recognized and accepted the qualifications accredited by signatories. Just to make this simple for you to understand, you might be knowing when our graduates wish to go to Western world for higher education, they have to undergo through 2 examinations. One is known as a GRE, Graduate Required Examination. Another is known as a TOEFL, Test of English as a Foreign Language. Why? Because they feel this is what, in addition to their academics, this will be required. Because perhaps they don't believe that whatever curriculum or whatever education system which we have is in compliance with what education system those countries have. That's what is the meaning of it. So, as you all know, once our accreditation, now ICT has made it mandatory that by 2022 you all have to get at least 50% courses must be accredited. Otherwise, they will start deaccrediting the institutes and all. See, ultimately, don't take it as a threat. Take it as a challenge. Take it as an opportunity to demonstrate that yes, we also are a good institute imparting a good technical education, good professional education, and we are also part of that. That's right. Now, this accord at present has a 16 full signatories, and India has also become a full signatory of this in 2014. Because we have demonstrated that in almost 100 institutions at that time, we have demonstrated across the country that we are having the outcome-based education. As I said, in our country, there are 2 agencies. One is a NAAC, National Assessment and Accreditation Council, which was established under UGC in 1994, and AICTE, under the umbrella of AICTE, NBA was established in 1994, but it has subsequently become independent autonomous body. So from 2010, so last 10 years, it is working as an autonomous separate body. Earlier 6 years, it has the same chairman, same member secretary, but now from 2010 onwards, NB has a same separate member secretary, separate chairman. And that's how 1994 first started, and it became independent in 2010. So from 1994 to 2010, 2003, I'm just trying to explain you how the NBA has gradually developed. So it is a NBA history, you can say. 1994 to 2003, first format was put in use, which was very generic. It was just capturing some information about the institute, holistic information. First revision happened in 2004, wherein we started understanding, capturing some data like input-output. Input-output means number of students, resources, all resources, human resources, physical resources. In terms of output, how many students are graduating, how many students are getting employed, how many faculty members are publishing, like that. Then subsequently, second revision happened in 2009, wherein we all started understanding the language of CO, PO, PSO. We started understanding that. Next revision happened in June 2009, wherein SAR came. SAR obviously 1.0 version was in January 2009. June 2009, SAR 2.0 version came. SAR is a self-assessment report. It is like a question paper is given to you. You are writing your own answers and you are also evaluating them. As an evaluator, when I visit the program, what exactly I do? I just look at, are you fair in doing your assessment? A, and sometimes it may happen, no? All the evidences which you are supposed to demonstrate, you may not be able to attach them with the help of your SAR. So we go physically verify those evidences. So it's of the books. Gradually that book will get matured. No? So our format also got matured in January 2016. And we all are using that from January 2016. We all are using that from January 2016, the format which presently we are using. Just now I was telling you, these were the models actually. So the first model was a minimal model, then came input-output model, then came outcome-based model. Outcome-based model came in 2009, which is the SAR, wherein we start talking about CO, PO, PSO, PEO, vision. Here we were talking just abstract information. Here we were talking in terms of input-output. So there is a paradigm shift from input-output to outcome-based model. You can see here. Input-output model was measurable inputs were there, measurable outputs were there. When I said measurable inputs, everything was quantified. How many lab equipments you have? What are the various infrastructure facilities you have? How many faculties you have? How many number of students you have? Output, how many students are graduating? What are their grades? It means how many students are getting first class? How many students are getting distinction? How many students are getting first class? What is the success rate? It means how many students are graduating, whether 80%, 90%, 70%. So everything we started talking in terms of a number, and that's what is called as an input-output based model. So there is a paradigm shift in OBE from input-output based to outcome-based. So input-output based was talking in terms of number. Outcome-based talks in terms of, as I told you, 3 key attributes, which are basically graduate attributes known as a knowledge, skill, and behavior. So when I show you 12 graduate attributes, you will understand that these 12 graduate attributes can be put in these 3 baskets of a knowledge, skill, and behavior. So some of the graduate attributes will be getting mapped to knowledge. There are no hard and fast compartments in between. They can be overlapping. So when I say one graduate attribute may have some component of knowledge as well as some component of skill as well as some component of behavior. And that's how these 3 baskets, without any watertight compartment, or 12 graduate attributes, when you will understand that they can be put in these 3 baskets. So there is a paradigm shift from our input-output based system to outcome-based system. And that's what we do, knowledge, skill, and behavior. I gave you a couple of examples. Another example which I wish to give you in terms of the outcome is that, for example, we are teaching some course. Take a simple course on mathematics with which you all will be familiar. Even pharmacy people also, they must have studied a 12th mathematics course. Suppose differential equation is one chapter. Now, mathematics course, that course has having differential equation as one chapter, and obviously that student passed that course and got 75 marks and entered into subsequent second year. Now, if that student is not able to solve a problem based on the differential equation in subsequent year, in my opinion, there is only output because student has passed that course, but there is no outcome and student is not able to demonstrate his ability. Student is not able to solve the question. So a student is not able to solve a problem involving differential equation. It means that there is output, but there is no outcome. So in a simple words, outcome is an ability of the student to demonstrate the ability which student has. So demonstration of ability is outcome basically. So if student is able to demonstrate that, yes, I know this, I can do this, I will solve this problem, I know how to solve a differential equation using a complementary function and particular integral, it means that that student is exhibiting, is demonstrating ability. Ability, when we say ability, it's a combination knowledge as well as skill as well as behavioral attribute. Communication is a behavioral attribute. So if I'm able to communicate effectively, either orally or in written, it means that I have got one of the behavioral aspect, communication. So in that context, outcome, when we say outcome means if student is able to demonstrate the ability, that is outcome. Simply showing a piece of paper on which you have got 70 marks or 75 marks, oh, maybe output, not outcome. Not necessarily I'm getting 70 marks in a particular course doesn't mean that I will be able to exhibit the skills or exhibit the abilities which I have learned in that course. If I'm not able to demonstrate, oh, then there is no outcome, there is only output. This is what is a simple philosophy I'm trying to explain. Obviously, we all are doing for satisfying our stakeholders. I'm just listing some of the stakeholders. Why I'm saying stakeholders? Because every stakeholder has some aspirations. When student joins your program, so he or she has aspiration that, oh, I will graduate this program with excellent skill and knowledge. Aspiration. Faculty. Oh, I will join this institution and obviously I will do my job as well as I will grow myself by acquiring different skills, supporting staff, industry and employers, parents, government, and the society at large. All these are our stakeholders. Everyone has certain expectations. They do expect. What are the expectations from various stakeholders or in various domains? For example, infrastructure. See, if you look at parents, no, they will look at the facilities. When student goes home, or they will discuss with their parents about the facilities which they have in a hostel, facilities which they have in an institution, all kind of facility, even a small drinking water facility also they will speak about. They will say that, oh, washrooms are not clean, or we do not have the updated or recent titles in the library. They speak about facilities. They may not speak about the teaching learning, but they will speak about these. When you say facility, as I said, teaching learning. When you say industry interaction means, oh, branding of your institution. You will brand your institution. Employability is directly function of the placement record. If you are brand, oh, you will get better employability. So I'm just trying to tell you what stakeholders look for. So employability, people will look at your placement record. What students can do after graduating, this is what time and again I'm emphasizing KSB, that is knowledge, skill and behavior. So at the end of the day, we have to answer a question, are we producing the confident engineer or confident professional of tomorrow to prepare a 21st century professional? That's what we are looking at. So what is OBE? OBE is basically an outcome-based education model. It's a reform model. Because why we call it as a reform? Because it's a student-centered learning philosophy, student-centered, which focuses on empirically measuring the student performance, which is known as outcomes basically. I just gave a very simple example of outcome. I am an engineering student and I said I have studied how to solve the differential equation. In my subsequent engineering years, if I am not able to solve a problem on a differential equation with the knowledge which I have, it means that I am not able to demonstrate outcome because I have output, because I have passed that course. But am I able to demonstrate that? The answer is no, and that's why this we call it as empirically measuring. When we say empirically means or in all kind of ways. That's why if you know if you have studied the NBA model, you might be knowing for assessment or you use direct assessment tools and indirect assessment tools. So that's what empirical measurement of the student performance, that is called as outcome. I'll just give us a small picture with the help of which you will understand what I'm saying. For example, when you go to a restaurant for maybe a lunch or dinner, and the first thing which you order usually is a soup. In a conventional or traditional education system, no, when somebody asks you a soup, how it is, you'll say, oh, okay, not good enough. This is output. The moment you start talking about the facts, nutrition facts, for example, whether it is high in protein or low in calcium, it means you are talking about outcome. And that is how it will discriminate a good chef and average chef. Because when you go to some restaurant, as you might be knowing, you may get that tomato soup maybe for 100 rupees, maybe for 200 rupees, maybe for 300 rupees. So it all varies from place to place. One aspect of place is there, but second aspect of important aspect is that nutrition fact. And that's why the moment you start talking about the attributes of that, then it becomes outcome. And that is what is the OB, outcome-based education. So I'm just showing you the philosophy. So what OB does, OB provides. Obviously, let us understand what are the drawbacks of traditional education system, and then look at how the OB is different than traditional education system. Our traditional education system, you all might be knowing, and you might agree with me that by and large, when we conduct our examinations now, they are by and large, it's a test of a memory. Hardly will test their intelligence. Test of memory means it all depends how they remember and reproduce in the examination. So to what extent they can remember and reproduce, based on that we say, oh, that's what it's called as memory, test of memory rather than test of intelligence. Our question, I'm not saying all the while, but most of the time, our question never provokes them to think and answer. Just most of the time, our questions will be in such a way that they will simply reproduce what is there in mind, what they have marked up. And that's why I'm saying provide students with a learning environment with little attention with the learning. Learning is very important. Let me just give you a couple of examples so that you will understand. We say no, we hear something and we listen to something. The fundamental difference between hearing and listening is that when you hear something with a purpose, it becomes listening. Similarly, when you study something with a purpose, it becomes learning. Learning means understanding. As you all know, Bloom's taxonomy has 6 levels of learning, right from remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. What does it mean? It means that learning goes through all these 6 levels. So learning is a process. Studying maybe for the purpose of examination you might study, and perhaps that's the drawback of our traditional education. Our traditional education basically is exam oriented or CGP or marks driven. That's why I say that paper simply will not add a value to you. You should be able to add a value to a paper. When I say I have got 9 CGPA or I have got 85% marks, I must be able to add a value to that paper. Paper should not add a value to me. That's why our conventional examination system is like this. Our graduates are not completely prepared for the workforce because they lack in many skills. That's why I said KSB, knowledge, skill, and behavior, they lack in the skills. They lack on emphasis of even soft skills. For example, communication skill, interpersonal skill, even analytical skill or working attitude. All these are the drawbacks of conventional education system, conventional or traditional education system. I'm just sharing with you one of the survey analysis, you can say, conducted by an employer. Why I'm showing you, it is a 20-point analysis. After the 20-point analysis, you'll realize that we focus only on one aspect out of 20. Remaining 19 aspects, we might be doing it directly, indirectly, but we do not emphasize on those. And that's how, and if you look at these 20 attributes, now you will come to know these 20 attributes are nothing but OBE or outcome-based education. I'm just showing you a survey conducted by an employer. Numbers on the right hand side are not important. What is important? What are those attributes which an employer has considered for evaluating a graduate? Those are important because then you will understand the real outcome-based education who has all these 20 attributes. It's not a matter of only one attribute which usually will focus. So I'm just showing you one by one those attributes. First is a communication skill. As I told you, this entire analysis is on the scale of 1 to 5, but don't worry about the number, look at the attribute. Communication, very important. Honesty, integrity, another very important. Teamwork skill, ability to work in a team, either as a leader or as a member. Interpersonal skills, how you behave with each other, how you interact with each other. Strong work ethics, very important. Professional ethics, we call it as a professional ethics or work ethics. Motivation in each initiative. Flexibility and adaptability. It means, are you flexible? Are you adaptable? Analytical skills. What is your ability to do analytical skills? Computer skill. Do you have a computer skills or proficiency? Organizational skills. It means that suppose a principal interest or HOD interest on activity among the student, are they able to carry out that activity independently? Faculty will act only as a mentor. So these 10, another 10, 20 total, 20 are there as I said. Detail oriented. It means ability to have over detail orientation. Leadership skills. Self-confidence. Friendly or outgoing personality. Well-mannered or polite. These are behavioral aspects, some of them. Tactfulness, diplomacy. Percentage of CGPA, academic performance. Creativity. Sense of humor. And entrepreneurial skills or risk taker. And wherein as an academic institute, where is our focus? Our focus is only on one aspect. We always focus on that and we neglect remaining 19. I'm not saying we don't do at all anything, but we do neglect in the sense we do not give importance. OB primarily emphasizes on all these. If you look at these 20 attributes, they are combined in 3 major attributes known as a knowledge, skill, and behavior. If you just look at these 20 attributes, you will be able to put them in appropriate compartment of knowledge, skill, and behavior. So traditional education is this, whereas OB is this. What is the fundamental difference? ILO. What is intended learning outcome? What you expect them to learn? It's not simply merely teaching the content or passing on the content to the student with some teaching methods, but what is emphasis? Emphasis is on ILO. This is what we call it as course outcomes and program outcomes. And that's what is ILO, intended learning outcomes. This is very important. So with a simple picture, I'm just trying to summarize OB versus the traditional education. Traditional education process, see, for every system you have input, you have a process, you have output. So input is what? Oh, faculty, teaching staff. What is input? Curriculum. Oh, you must have laboratories to conduct. And obviously other resources. When I say other resources, these resources may be human, material, both. Then you have process. What is the process? Process is a teaching learning process. And what is the output? Output, I'm saying, students at graduation. You have very limited feedback in this whole process. You can just look at it. Very limited feedback. Assessment mainly via examinations, test or assignments, and quality control is only from teaching evaluation. This is what is a traditional education system. OB, obviously, OB will have an input, no doubt. Any system will have an input, any system will have a process. But what is now different? That output is now transformed into outcome, in which we call it as a short term and long term. That's why short term means your program outcomes, long term means your program educational objectives. So you have a short term, you have a long term. Short term means at the end of graduation. Long term means after 3 to 5 years of the graduation. Those are known as program educational objectives and hence outcomes. Here, program outcomes which are short term. And obviously, see, you can see here, program educational objectives will be evaluated with 80% of a direct, 20% of an indirect. These are the surveys. And here, at every stage, there is a feedback loop. And that's why this system emphasizes on the fact of knowledge, skill, and behavior. This is what is a fundamental difference between the conventional education system and the OB. In nutshell, you need to just answer 3 things. First question you have to answer, what do you want the students to have or able to do? It means what is your objective? You must understand what is your objective. How can you best help the students to achieve it? It means methodology or teaching learning. So here you can say your curriculum, outcome-based curriculum, outcome-based teaching learning. And how do we know they have achieved? Oh, outcome-based assessment. So you have here curriculum or objective, here you have methodology, and here you have assessment. And obviously, any system cannot work in open loop. You have to give feedback, and that's why how do you close the loop with the help of some quality measures, and that's what is the basically OB in nutshell. If I have to put this in the form of a picture, same thing earlier slide. Oh, I have program objectives, as I said. Then I have program outcomes. Then I have course outcomes. So design approach here is left to right. Implementation approach is right to left. First of all, I'm going to evaluate course outcomes. That in turn will help me to evaluate program outcomes. That in turn will help me to evaluate program educational objectives, which I have articulated with the help of inputs from my various stakeholders. You can see these are my stakeholders: alumni, mission, vision statement, stakeholders, advisory committee. All are my primary inputs for articulation of my program educational objectives. Because if I actually articulate properly my program educational objective, then I will be able to have the program outcome. And again, you can see here for program educational objective, vision and mission is the primary inputs. These are secondary inputs. Input you have got from alumni, input you have got from stakeholder, advisory committee. All are secondary input, but these 2 are primary inputs for this, which in turn will help you to articulate program outcomes, which that will help you to articulate course outcome. And as far as evaluation goes, evaluation is other way around. Evaluation is we call it as here, if you say left to right approach, this will be a right to left approach. First of all, you are going to evaluate course outcomes, then program outcomes, and then program educational objectives. I'm saying assessment and its analysis. But what is missing here is a feedback, and that feedback in the form of continuous quality improvement. So in every loop, a CQI block will automatically get pumped, and that is called CQI, which is a continuous quality improvement, because feedback is required. See, you have done assessment, you have analyzed, but what next after analysis? Oh, after analysis, you will understand what are the issues, what are the measures, which you need to work, and that is what we call it as a CQI, or continuous quality improvement. That's what is the basis. That's what is the basis of this outcome-based education philosophy. Obviously, for assessment, you will have the tools, and that's why I'm mentioning here direct assessment tools and indirect assessment tools, because assessment will happen with the help of these tools. That's what is the philosophy. And obviously, as I told you, direct and indirect assessment. So, in nutshell, where we are, this is a present state of our student. Some structure is there, some structure. So our graduates are looks like this. or they do graduate because they do get certificate of graduation. Where we want to transform this current state or current state into this expected state. This is expected state. You can just look at here or from here to here if you want to go, and this is what is the outcome. Some structure was there here also, but it was we call it as output. Oh, but this is this outcome. We have to do that, and that's what is the basis of outcome-based philosophy. So outcome-based education is what? Starting with a clear picture of what is important for the students to be able to do. It means program educational objective. Accordingly, designing the curriculum, teaching learning, that is delivery, and assessment to make sure learning happens. This is very important. Learning is very important. And that's why OB, outcome-based education, has outcome-based curriculum, outcome-based learning, teaching, and outcome-based assessment. That's why I call it as a top-down approach. Design approach is a top-down approach. You have, first of all, outcome-based curriculum, wherein you answer what students should able to do. Then you answer learning, teaching, how they should able to make, that's what teaching, learning. And how are you going to understand, how do you measure that the student has achieved? That is what is assessment. And that's how outcome-based education has outcome-based curriculum, outcome-based learning, teaching, and outcome-based assessment. That will ensure outcome-based education philosophy. The outcome of this whole thing is the OB model, which is known as a key constituent of OB. It's a pyramid. What are those? Vision, mission, program educational objectives, program outcomes, and course outcomes. Design approach is a top-down approach. You can see design approach is a top-down approach, whereas implementation approach is a bottom-up approach. When I say bottom-up, means unless and until you don't evaluate course outcomes, you will not be able to evaluate program outcomes. No doubt they are influenced by graduate attributes. But the evaluation or assessment of course outcomes will help you to assess program outcomes. That will help you to achieve program educational objectives and ultimately your vision and mission. These are the key components. We are going to discuss one by one what is vision, what is mission, what is program educational objective, what is program outcome, and what is course outcome. That is my today's agenda. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, we can take a break of a couple of minutes and we can take some questions in case you have. I have just given you the basic philosophy of what is OB, outcome-based education. The key constituents we are going to discuss one by one. What is vision, what is mission, what are program educational objectives, what are program outcomes, and what are course outcomes. How do I articulate them? And finally, I'll connect them at the end with the interconnection between all these things. And the outcome of this whole process is a well-documented SAR with the 10 criteria for undergraduate programs, as I said in the beginning. So Lalit, we can take some questions if they have.
No, the session is open for discussion. Delegates can ask the question.
Yeah, just 5 minutes so that they will also not feel like that, no? So that's why I thought let me just give them a break also for 2-3 minutes. If you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. I understand, Lalit, the crowd by and large is from your pharmacy background.
Yes.
Yeah, but see, philosophy does not change whether you are an engineering background or pharmacy background. We all are professionals, and philosophy remains the same everywhere. So, but still, if you have any question, please raise your hand. You can ask the question. Or
all delegates are requested to ask the question, if any.
Yeah, if you have a question. Anyone? Yeah, okay. So Kiran Aaron is asking a question. In CGPA system, student scoring 90% marks gets grade. So let me read his, in chat box he has put a question. Scoring student 97 marks and get grade A. This may demotivate students. Sir, in this regard, will you please throw a light on CGPA system accepted now by maximum professional courses? Okay. Okay, very good question, Kiran. Kiran, actually, what has happened? No? If you look at the CGPA system or grade system, no? People may have 4 grades, 5 grades. It all depends. There is a grade called as an outstanding grade also. See, like later grades are there, as well as the attributes of with each grades are there. So as we are saying, 97, perhaps if their nomenclature is like that, no, then we can't help. But you can have an attribute for 97% grade, or you can have an attribute of A plus also. But it all depends upon, see, it is depending upon the affiliated universities' philosophy. I mean, it's like a kind of a policy one. I do understand your concern that a student gets demotivated because in spite of scoring 97 marks, he or she is getting grade A. But you see, that is a rule. No? We can't do anything with the rule if that is a rule. But there can be additional grades also possible, quite possible. Right? Okay. If that was the only question, then I will again start sharing my screen and we'll go back to our presentation and we'll discuss. So as I said, we'll discuss one by one. Vision, mission. The first is vision, mission. Vision is basically what? Vision is a futuristic statement. It means, suppose today, just to give a simple example, suppose someone joins as an assistant professor in academics, then he or she might be having his or her next 5 years plan. That, okay, I have joined as assistant professor. In next 5 years, I want to get higher qualification, maybe a doctorate or maybe a postgraduate, as the case may be. So what is your vision? To acquire either post-graduation or doctorate qualification in next 5 years or next 7 years down the line. That is called as your vision. What is mission? Mission is means to achieve it. Then you have to think, how are you going to achieve it? What is your action plan? And that's why mission is basically means to achieve the vision is called as mission. So what is your action plan? So mission statements are usually the imperfect present tense because it's going on, it goes on. Whereas vision is always a futuristic statement. How you look at down the line, 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, that is called as vision. And mission is obviously the action plan. So let us understand one by one. I'm giving you a simple example. As I said, vision is a futuristic statement that the institution or department would like to achieve over a long period of time. And mission is basically means to achieve that vision. And that's why this is always an imperfect present tense. I'm just giving you one simple example to make you understand the philosophy. For example, suppose my vision is to create high quality engineering professionals. My vision. You need to understand what are the attributes of high quality engineering professionals. In my opinion, how am I going to produce the high quality engineering professionals? My first mission must be offering a well-balanced program of instruction. Unfortunately, many times people, again in mission statement also they write to, which is incorrect. Vision can be to create, can be vision, but mission cannot be. Mission is the imperfect present tense. It means what is your action going on? So by offering a well-balanced program of instruction, by providing practical experience. So when I say well-balanced program, no, my program will be having a proper proportion of theory and practical. That's what I call it as a well-balanced program. Providing a practical experience and opportunities for overall personality development. If you look at here 3 attributes of mission, if you just look at these, if I do this mission, no, I will get what I'm envisaging. I will be able to produce the high quality engineering professionals at the end of the program. That's how the vision and mission is this. Next is a program educational objectives. Program educational objectives are basically broader statement. Why someone should join your program? Why someone should join ABC college for B pharmacy? What is something different which you offer, or what you say that our graduates will able to demonstrate after 3 to 5 years down the line? See, program educational objectives are usually evaluated after 3 to 5 years down the line. So these are basically broader statements which speaks or which talks about the professional and career accomplishments or achievements graduates will be able to achieve after 3 to 5 years down the line. That's why these are broader statements. Even though we say these are broader statements, they must be manageable in number. That's why usually the program education objectives are usually 3 to 5, because they must be manageable, they must be achievable by a program, and they must be in line with your vision and mission. Because just now I showed you key constituents or key components of the OBE. The first top sets vision, mission. Next comes program education objectives, and that's why just now what we have discussed, vision and mission, or these program education objectives must be in line with your vision and mission. What I said, I'm just putting it on the slide. Just now I said these are the broad statements that describe a career and professional achievements that a program is preparing graduates to achieve, and that's why I said they must be consistent with your mission of the institution. They must be manageable and achievable by the program. They should be specific, and they must be based on the need of constituencies. It means that when you articulate these program education objectives, I will just give you a 4-step algorithm. How you should articulate program education objectives? The step 1 in the algorithm, you must conduct a brainstorming session, consultation workshop with all your stakeholders. Your stakeholders are student, alumni, employer, industry, all. In that brainstorming, you need to take into account 2 things. 1, data on a trend and data on the future. What do you mean by data on a trend? It means that what is your trend for last 4 or 5 years? That you should take into account, that you should take into consideration. And what is data on the future? What is the future? I'll just give one simple example to you. Suppose for computer engineering domain, you must have observed last 6-7 years, digital India movement has gone in leaps and bounds. It has taken a great shape, due to which there is a very high demand for computer professionals. This is called a data on a trend. Now, data on the future. Will there be a demand for this? The answer is yes, because world is talking about the huge data science, the new areas, emerging areas are data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning. You must be watching on a television the advertisements of various cars. MG electric car you must be seeing on a television. No? They say it's an intelligent car. It has this kind of control. It speaks, it responds. What does it mean? It means that intelligence. So obviously data on the future. So consultation along with understanding this data, what you are going to do, you will be summarizing all these views collected during the discussion. If required, you may circulate among your stakeholders, but after that, you are going to freeze your program education objectives. This is what is a 4-step flow chart, which I am showing you on next slide. That is what a part is consultation with all your stakeholders, and this is just now I was talking to you, data on the future and data on the trends. You need to understand that. In a pharmacy also it has happened last 4 or 5 years, the admission to the pharmacy programs is very high. The reason being, pharmacy, see, medical industry is going to grow leaps and bounds. It means that medicines will be always required. Different kind of medicines comes. Now just look at COVID-19. COVID-19 vaccine will come. So vaccine transportation, storage, making of vaccines, supplementary medicines and all. Also everything is aligned with each other. And that's we call it data on the trends and data on the future. All these views which have been captured in a consultation will be summarized, and these views will be known as a program education objectives. In case you are an autonomous institute, then you will identify the courses which goes in line with objectives along with the elective. It means core courses and elective courses you will identify. So this is a 4-step flow chart, the algorithm for articulation of program educational objectives. The outcome of this, As I belong to engineering profession, I belong to electrical engineering domain, and that's why I'm just giving one simple example. But with the help of that, you will understand. This is an example of a College of Engineering in Pune, wherein I was 10 years, I was associate professor. Then I ventured into administration, but I was a faculty there in electrical engineering department. So what are the program education objectives of an electrical program in COEP? Oh, these are the things. What do we say? A graduate, whoever will be graduating from electrical engineering department of College of Engineering Pune, will be employable in diversified sectors. I have just highlighted a keyword. It means they will get employment in all kinds of sectors: industry, government, public sector, multinational. And they will also, 10% of the student will also pursue higher education in electrical engineering or other fields of their interest at the institutes of repute and high standard. It means the graduates who are graduating from COEP, go for higher education to institutes like IITs, NITs, or they go for MS programs. So this is what is a promise we are saying. Our graduates, what they are doing, we are telling the world what they are doing. We are saying graduates will demonstrate measurable progress in the fields they choose to pursue. So these graduates will demonstrate measurable progress. When I say measurable progress means, suppose a graduate joins as an assistant manager in an organization, or he or she may climb a ladder of deputy manager, maybe going as a team leader. It means because of their skills, they will demonstrate measurable progress in the field which they will choose. Even a student who is joining a MTech program, because of his or her academic credential, may be adopted, may be absorbed as a doctoral candidate by the guide. That shows also again that candidate has shown a measurable progress during his or her MTech studies or master studies. That's why he has been absorbed. So we are saying our graduates will be able to demonstrate measurable progress. And we say graduates will be able to communicate effectively, adopt lifelong learning, act with integrity, and have interpersonal skills needed to engage in, lead and nurture diverse teams with a commitment to their ethical and social responsibilities. This is what we are saying. Engineering graduates which we are producing are capable of. That's why these are our objectives. Objectives of electrical engineering program are such that our graduates will be. See, this is demonstrated usually within 3 to 5 years. Please understand, it's not immediately demonstrated. Another example on the similar lines of program education objectives that we're able to successfully practice keyword electrical engineering regionally, nationally, and globally. It means that they will have their existence at all the levels. They will be well educated in the fundamental concept. It means they will have sound knowledge of electrical engineering so that they will continue to have a development, professional development in their careers. And third, they will be skilled in clear communications and teamwork and capable of functioning responsibly in diverse teams. These are the objectives. Next comes program outcomes. Program outcomes are basically graduate attributes which are given by again, sorry for the technical hiccup, Dr. Lalit Rathi. I got disconnected, then I connected through my mobile now. Mobile hotspot I have connected. Let us hope that we will get at least another. half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever we will be discussing. So program outcome. I hope my screen is visible and I am audible.
Yes, sir, audible. Screen is visible.
Audible as well as my screen is visible?
Yeah, screen is visible.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So next is the program outcomes. As I told you, there are 12 graduate attributes on the basis of which program outcomes are defined. Let me just give you a glimpse of each one of the graduate attribute. As I said, okay, I explained to you everything. What are program outcomes? I'm just summarizing here. See, basically, program outcomes are which are measured at the end of the program, and that's why they capture knowledge, skill, and behavior. I told you earlier. That's why they align with graduate attributes and they reflect all the graduate attributes. There are 12 graduate attributes. Let us understand one by one. First is the knowledge. Engineering knowledge. It is a same pharmacy knowledge. It's knowledge basically. So domain knowledge. So what this attribute means? It means at the end of the graduation, students should be able to apply knowledge of basic sciences to the solution of complex engineering problems of that particular specialization. That is a knowledge. Second graduate attribute is ability to do problem analysis. Now, if you recall, I said 3 baskets are there: knowledge, skill, and behavior. If you look at first knowledge basket, oh, this will go in the knowledge basket. Whereas problem analysis, no, will go in both the baskets because there is no watertight compartment. Problem analysis means it requires both. It requires knowledge, it requires skill. That's why it says identify, formulate, and research, literate, and analyze complex engineering problem. That's why problem analysis will go as both baskets. Some part of knowledge, some part of skill, because here it is a skill. But for skill, you require knowledge. Then comes the design development of solutions to the problems: health, safety, cultural, societal, and environmental consideration. It means this is a third graduate attributes, providing design and development of solutions. Just to give a very simple example so that every one of you will understand. In this COVID pandemic, no, we say no, we have to wear a mask and we have to use hand sanitizer. Now, whenever you go to any public place or any public building, let us say, or public office, or you always say, always at the entrance you find the self-dispensable hand sanitizer machines, right? That is kind of a design and development of solution based on the requirement, right? Like pedal push sanitizing bottle, you must have seen, no? The moment you push the pedal, suppose you are going to some mall, or at the entrance they will measure your temperature with the infrared thermometer. At the same time, they will also ask you sanitize your hands and all, right? I'm saying this is one kind of design development solution for the problems, consideration for all public health, safety. So I'm looking at from that perspective, a public health or safety. Conduct investigation of complex problems. It means analysis basically. In your pharmacy field, you do a lot of analysis of complex problem when you have pharmacognosy or your chemistry, pharmacochemistry, you must be doing a lot of research, a lot of precipitations and finding the radicals and all, and doing a lot of things. Why you do that? You basically do that analysis to provide a valid conclusions. You might be making some tablets, medicines, and all. So why you do that? For providing valid conclusions. For doing all these things, no, you might be taking help of the modern tools which are required. I'm saying tools means softwares. So you might be taking the help of some of the softwares which are required for your domain. Why you use those tools? Tools basically you use for validation purpose. Because see, problems which you are addressing may be very complex. And if you start solving them analytically with a pen and paper, it may take a lot of time. So you might be using some tools, software tools for validation of those and finding out the solution for the complex problems. That's what modern tool usage. Engineer and society. Professionals basically. See, whenever we cannot take away ourselves from the society. What we do, We always address the societal problems. In the context of, we apply our contextual knowledge. We do the reasoning. We apply our contextual knowledge for addressing health, safety, legal, cultural, all kind of issues, and obviously consequent responsibilities relevant to professional engineering practices. Just to give an example, nowadays you see the automatic traffic light or at traffic signals, you have the CCTV cameras, right? What they do, they capture your photo in case if you violate the traffic signal, and you get each alarm because it is integrated with the VAHAN system, the registration system of regional transport offices. And that's how they capture your data and they send you a challan, e-challan on your mobile phone or even email, whatever is registered. It means that we provide, we provide a solution to the problems of society. When we provide solutions to the problem of the society, we have to think about the sustainable solution, which is a long-term solution, as well as it is an eco-friendly solution. For example, green building, we say, is an eco-friendly solution. Even in your domain also, whenever you find out the solution, you always, if you are suppose developing some tablet, or you will see that the tablet will not have a side effect, or it will have a minimum side effects. It means that you consider the solution to be sustainable as well as environmental friendly. When we produce our graduate, you must inculcate among them the professional ethics. And that's why ethical principles, I'm saying, commit to their professional ethics and responsibilities. We say that whatever they do in their life, they do with a commitment and do honestly and with the highest integrity. That is what we say, ethics. Ninth graduate attribute is individual or teamwork. We nurture this behavioral attribute, like KSD, this is a behavioral attribute. Ethics is also a behavioral attribute. We nurture among them from the perspective of that whenever they will work, sometimes they may be leaders, sometimes they may be a member in a team. So we nurture that, cultivate that ability among them, so that they will understand how to be a part of a team, how to adapt. So if you remember, I showed one of the attributes for assessment was adaptability or flexibility. See, sometimes you have to adapt to the situation, sometimes you have to adapt to the people in the team. And that's how we say whether they are able to function effectively, either as an individual, either as a leader, or as a member or a leader in a diverse teams. That's what is one of the graduate attributes. 10th graduate attribute, which I was emphasizing earlier also, is a communication, very important. They must be able to communicate effectively on different kind of activities which they do. For example, they might be making a report, the oral communication, written communication, even a presentation skills also, or documentation also. So they must develop that. 11th is a lifelong learning, which is very important. The philosophy of lifelong learning is that you actually inculcate learning among them, so that on their own, in their life, they will learn, because technology will update from time to time. Curriculum, content gets updated time to time. Then you need to learn new things in their professional career. But if you nurture the ability among them to how to learn the new things, and that's what is the philosophy of lifelong learning. And the last graduate attribute, which has been added recently, few years down the line, because most of the graduates are opting for managerial positions in various organizations. That's like project management and finance. It means that they will be able to demonstrate knowledge and understanding and management principles and apply these when they work in such teams. So that's how these 12 graduate attributes are there. These are program outcomes. Obviously, this I'm not going to detail with this. This is in terms of assessment. Presently, we are not doing assessment, so I'm just skipping this because it will be purely related with engineering domain, and that's why I'm not going with that. And the last attribute, the last key component is course outcomes. Course outcomes, you all might be doing that course outcomes. What are these course outcomes? Course outcomes basically focuses on aspects of learning. Learning means at the end of the day, how much student has learned is more important rather than how much student has studied. So learning is emphasized here, and that's why course outcomes focus on aspects of learning. They are limited and manageable number. Usually they are 4 to 6. And obviously they are specific enough to be measurable. So when I say, for example, I have one chapter in engineering mathematics course as solution of a differential equation. So what is chapter title? Solution of a differential equation. If I want to articulate CO for this, what I will do? I will write objective for that, which I'm trying to show you here. So I have 6 chapters in a course. So I'm writing titles of all these 6 chapters. Then I'm writing what is my purpose or what is my objective of teaching that chapter. For example, I have one chapter on solution of a differential equation. Then what is my objective? My objective is to make them familiar with the solution of a differential equation using my objective. And what is outcome? Outcome means what am I expecting from them? Oh, I am expecting after studying this, my objective was to make them familiar. My outcome, expected outcome is student will be able to solve engineering problems involving differential equation is my outcome. So if student has studied this solution of differential equation, they must be able to demonstrate that they are able to solve any engineering problem involving differential equation. If they are not able to do this, then there is no outcome in my opinion. It is only output because they might pass that course. So only output is there, not outcome. I hope you are getting my point. And as I told you, 6 levels of Bloom's taxonomy. I earlier also reiterated: remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Just I'm telling you a guideline, simple guideline, thumb rule, that normally your first and second year courses will get mapped with the bottom 4 Bloom's taxonomy level, like remembering. Some definitions will be there. They will understand some principles. They will apply those principles, and to some extent they may analyze. Your third year and final year courses in undergraduate program usually will address these higher 4 levels: applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating, because they are higher order thinking levels. So when you articulate your course outcomes, please ensure that you will make use of the Bloom's taxonomy. That will help you to understand actually articulation properly. And that's why I'm just showing you these 6 levels, which I iterated earlier also. And obviously, I'm just showing it is an engineering course, but don't worry about the course. What is more important is that I'm just showing you the adjectives which I'm using, like compute, calculate, apply, relate, select. See, for example, I will be able to do selection if I have understanding, not only recalling. I will be able to do computing based on certain formulas. So if I remember certain formulas, I will do it. So it's like mapping these with the Bloom's taxonomy level, which I'm doing subsequently. You can just see computing. So I have remembered as well as I have understood how to compute. Calculate, yes, I know, as well as I have understanding also how to do it. So that's why understanding. Just for the sake of your understanding, I have mapped this. BTL means Bloom's taxonomy. Applying means applying. So it is mapped with applying. Please understand. Sorry for this hiccup again. Unfortunately, got disconnected. Again, I'm sharing. My screen is visible. I am audible.
Yes, sir, audible.
Okay, thank you. And my screen is visible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay, fine, thank you. A few more slides, okay, just for maybe 10-15 minutes max. So as I was just mentioning you, when I map with applying level, no, remembering and understanding are automatically mapped. When I say analyzing level, oh, bottom three levels are always mapped. This is what I was trying to explain here. So when I write this level mapping, oh, it automatically gives. So when you articulate a course outcome for a particular course, oh, you must map them also properly. Then only you will understand. NBA doesn't ask you, but this is for your sake of understanding. Because course outcome is what? At the end of the course, what abilities student will able to demonstrate, na? We write those abilities. Those are known as outcomes. This is what you have to understand. Then comes PSOs, program specific outcomes. Let me tell you in one line only so that there won't be any confusion for you. PSOs are your USP. Suppose 10 institutions in and around are offering your B Pharmacy program. Why one should join your institute for that program? What uniqueness you have, or what X factor the student who will be graduating from your institute will have in that context, I'm saying. In that context, that is called as a PSO. So PSOs are not POs. They are other than POs. So they are different than POs. But they are USPs of your program. For example, when you go to buy a mobile phone in a market, no, every mobile phone has some unique feature. No? That uniqueness is called as a PSO in terms of a graduate. So the graduates which are graduating from your program, no, if they have that uniqueness, no, they are called as a PSOs. This is just make you understand. So that, because I will not give you engineering example, I will just give you the philosophy. So they are beyond POs, but obviously they are specific to a particular program. Usually they are 2 to 4 in number. You must have a process for arriving at them, which I will show you in the form of flowchart. They must be realistic, and obviously they will get evaluated along with POs. Just to make you understand, I will give a simple example of a College of Engineering Pune. College of Engineering Pune has an excellent lab in a civil engineering department known as a plumbing lab. Actually, that lab has been established in association with the Indian Plumbing Association. They have established, they have a what that lab has a uniqueness. That lab has a uniqueness that you will get all state-of-art, recent trends, recent best practices adopted by industry in a public health engineering area. Oh, they are there. They are available for demonstration in that lab. What is the advantage? The student of civil engineering who has one course, public health engineering, what they do, no? They learn all these best practices which are being practiced in industry, used in industry. So when they go for an interview of an organization wherein they require such engineers, no, these engineers always have an X factor, or they have an edge over other engineering graduates which are also competing there. That is called as a USP. That is called as a uniqueness or X factor. That's what is called as a PSO. So how do we arrive to that? A simple flow chart. See, NBA has given you a program outcomes which are graduate attributes, and PSOs you will find it out through your interaction with the stakeholder who are graduating actually student. You will understand from graduating interaction with graduating student, you will understand what uniqueness they are carrying. Suppose your pharmacist graduates are graduating from your institute, you will ask them, you will interact with them, you will do brainstorming, and you will understand what uniqueness they have. That uniqueness you will quantify, try to quantify, and these are PSOs. That's what PSOs. You may revise them, review and decide and review periodically based on your expertise, based on the facilities which you might be creating some different environment for them also. Accordingly, you may revisit your PSOs and you may review also periodically. But the point which I'm trying to tell you is that the X factor which you will have for your graduates, that will be your uniqueness, that will be your PSOs. This is what is your PSO. So that's why I said, no, I will not bother you with the engineering example, but these are engineering example having an incubation facility for electronics department, or they will say that they will be able to design something based on the incubation facility. So what I'm doing now, I'm just summarizing whole things. If you look at, these are the key constituents. It's a pyramid basically. A cone, you can say, a cone and vertex of a cone is a vision mission, you can see. Then comes PEOs. Then comes POs, which are influenced by GS, means graduate attributes. And then comes COs. What this indicates? This indicates one CO may get mapped with more than one PO. It may get mapped with, levels may be different. One PO, one CO may get mapped with one PO with a high level, another PO with a moderate level. And that's what it shows, interlinking. This is what is a code whose vertex is a vision mission. And as I said, POs, and COs. So the OB framework, which I started making you understand the philosophy. Or if you look at here, you have vision, mission, and engineering graduate attributes. Then you have program educational objectives. Then you have student outcomes, which are program outcomes. And then you have course outcomes. So you can just see this is a design approach. Then you have methodology. This methodology is a course learning planning, how you deliver a course. So methodology. Then you have assessment. Now implementation approach. First of all, you will assess these course outcomes. That will help you to assess program. That will help to assess vision and mission. That is PEOs and vision mission. And in this whole process, you will have improvements, and that is called as feedback. And obviously, these are the inputs from your stakeholders for articulation. This is a complete OB framework, and the outcome of this OB framework is 10 criteria SAR. As I told you, program level criteria are 7. I explained you earlier also, vision, mission, and PEOs, program curriculum and teaching learning, course outcomes and program outcomes, sprint performance, faculty information and contributions, facilities and technical support, continuous improvement. These are program level criteria, 78% weightage or 780 marks, and institute level criteria are 3. This is how total 1000 mark evaluation. If you get 600 or more, you get 3 years of provisional accreditation or 3 years of accreditation. If your score is more than 750, then you have 6 years of accreditation. This is all about just the philosophy of OB. If you have questions, I'll be very happy to answer. Otherwise, thank you very much for your patient listening.
Thank you, Bandal sir. Any question from delegate?
Yeah, if any questions, I'll be very happy. There are some questions in a chat. Let us check. Okay. Okay, you have to put some. So if any questions are there, please feel free. I just today gave you the philosophy of the outcome-based education. Just philosophy of outcome-based education. To talk on SAR, it takes almost 10 to 12 hours on each attribute. But I just gave you the basic philosophy of what is outcome-based education.
Sir,
yes,
there
please.
is a question from Shruti Sakre madam in chat box.
Okay.
She's asking.
Okay. What is this? Oh, okay. What's the question? Yeah.
She's asking, sir, should we maintain documentary proof of brainstorming sessions?
Yes.
For finalizing the PEO?
Yeah, the answer is absolutely yes. See, because you will be identifying some stakeholders, you will be calling the meetings of stakeholders, and therefore you must have minutes of meeting along with the attendance. Yes, you must have. See, please understand, whatever you claim, you must have documentary evidence for that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, on behalf of Institute, I am thankful to you for accepting our invitation and for sharing your valuable thought on the theme of STTP. So thank you very much, sir. Again, Bandal sir.
Thank you very much, and so my sincere apologies for the hiccups because of the network problem. My sincere apology for that. But thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting me and discussing with all of you. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now join with us again at 2 p.m. for the second session of this STTP. Thank you very much.